the whole prospect of trying to look all the time, or good all the time, is great. Are you happy all the time?
We're not talking about Doctor Strange, because that was a big theme in that movie.
Was it?
Remember, Are You Happy?
Yeah,
in
true.
the second
And he'd
one?
be like, no, not really, because, I'm not married.
Did we watch the same movie, or did you watch the porn parody version?
Oh, yeah, that was Into the...
Into the what?
I don't know. I can't remember, actually. I can't remember the title.
Doctor Strange Into the...
I don't know. I can't... The
multiverse of MILFs.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to a podcast now. Episode 37, I think.
Yeah, episode... recent, the most recent one. If you're,
yes.
If
unless it's you're watching this
if this is an old one, good on you. Maybe we're insanely famous in the future for some reason, maybe for the wrong reason,
and we'll get into that.
I'm
your host, Lachlan Rodwell, and I'm joined by
someone.
I'm joined by a boy.
Yeah, I'm someone who doesn't know how to sit straight. I'm just looking at myself in the camera, being like, "Should I sit forward like this?"
Well, you look like a giant. It's like forced perspective.
I know. You
sit further forward. Anyway, Lucas Boreham.
Hey guys.
Good stuff. This week we're going to be talking about the finale of Obi-Wan. We can now talk about the whole season and see our thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And secondly, The Boys had its Herogasm episode, which was hyped up.
An experience and a half.
It was an experience and a half. So we're going to talk about 2 hit TV shows today. But first, the news. And I need you to unlock your phone again.
No, you don't. It doesn't have a thing on it anymore. I taken it off. So
anyway, you might have just cheekily seen the story.
No, I didn't. My vision's
in the news this week. Ezra Miller accused of housing children on a farm with guns and marijuana.
What is wrong? Okay. So when did we start talking about Ezra?
I think was it Morbius?
It was Morbius. He threw a chair at someone. This character arc is amazing.
I mean, if it wasn't a real person,
yes, it would. To find out the finale is, we hope, is that he has an orphanage. Maybe that's what he's calling it, where he has a lot of guns and marijuana.
Well, he on Instagram.
Yeah.
They on their Instagram, they put like a photo saying, like, I'm in a completely different universe to you. Like, I'm not on your level. Like, they will never find me. Stuff like that.
Yeah, he needs help.
He does.
I feel like he needs help more than prosecution at this point.
Maybe a little bit of prosecution.
A little bit. Oh, yes, but like. Help first, and then, all right, we'll fucking,
Of course.
Because then they can't prosecute him and be sick.
Yeah. And so Rolling Stone says sources have reported unattended guns lying around the home, with one recalling an instance in which a 1-year-old child allegedly picked up a bullet and put it in her mouth.
Well, that's good, because bullets actually don't kill people.
No, guns do. So, it's fine. Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, people do, because people are holding the guns, I mean, you can't, you throw a gun at someone, it'd hurt.
Yeah, and I believe choking on a bullet would hurt.
Oh, well, no, but bullets, depending, if it's a 9mm.
Compared to the size of the baby.
Yeah, true. That's true,
it's probably pretty big.
Yeah, 1-year-old. What is a 1-year-old doing in his,
That's...
Wow, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Did you just find all these children? Has he kidnapped them all? That would be fucked.
Who knows?
That would be really bad.
Who knows? But... Warner Brothers has finally said something.
Oh, they finally said something. Wow.
Said
okay,
something.
this is even bigger news that they've actually said something.
Well, actually, I should not say they haven't said anything.
Oh.
Someone has said something to someone who has then passed it on to the news.
Okay.
So it's it always has to be this one step removed because they haven't made a decision yet.
Yeah.
But apparently, sources say that Warner Brothers has said that they are parting ways with Ezra Miller no matter what happens in the future from this point on.
Yeah.
Done. They'll never work at Warner Brothers ever again. But still no word on what's happening to The Flash itself.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think they're thinking that it'll all just blow over.
It just keeps escalating though.
Yeah, I know. They're kind of oh shit.
We've been talking about this for months now.
Yeah. Fuck.
This Flash movie is like here's the question. The question is, right? Do you spend an extra $100 million and refilm it, right, so that it might make $1 billion?
Yeah.
Or do you like just cop the losses and release it as is, and it will make maybe $150 million?
Yeah.
You know, like, because this was Warner Brothers' attempt at $1 billion movie. Now that's out of the question if Ezra Miller is the lead.
Yeah.
So do they reshoot it? Do they sink more money into it?
Why do they think the Flash is going to be a bit like is there a lot of people behind the Flash? Like, do they?
Well, it's bringing back Michael Keaton.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
So it's supposed to be a big event movie.
Yeah. Fair. All right. Well, I mean, yeah. So I think I saw a post that like a couple of days ago, a year from that day is when it's proposed to come out. So yeah, they still got a lot of time to figure out what they want to do. And I mean, like, they probably have some guy there being like, look, the story's bulletproof. I feel like people, because like once a movie comes out, like Batman, like the recent Batman or Joker 2, people are like, everything everywhere all at once. People see it, they're like, this movie's fucking awesome. The story's great. The acting's great. Everything about it's awesome. Like Top Gun Maverick, and then
keep talking.
And then it gets a lot of popularity and, a lot of people watch it. Whereas this, I mean, already going in, if Ezra's in it, people, they're just not going to even talk about if the story's
well, and that's the issue. Is that apparently this movie's tested quite positively. People like the story, the action, the acting. It's just, now there's a big question about, can we as the audience separate the art from the artist and separate Ezra Miller's involvement in the work?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I mean, it's impossible to market this movie with him in it.
Oh, 100%.
So what I imagine is going to happen is there'll be a trailer that will release eventually. There has to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Obviously. And it won't show Ezra Miller's face. It'll show him zooming past. It'll show him from the back.
He'll be quick.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be a flash.
That's the lucky thing is since they're playing a character that moves at the speed of light.
Yeah.
You can't see his face then.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, so I think they will try their best to hide Ezra Miller as the Flash, even though it's his movie.
Yeah.
And then market the movie on Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, Supergirl. They'll market it on all the other characters that are in the movie because it's a big multiverse type movie.
Yeah.
And they'll do essentially the opposite of Doctor Strange, right? Where Doctor Strange didn't market, or like Spider-Man No Way Home, they don't market the multiversal characters.
Yeah, they just be like, holy fuck, what's going on with Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man's movie. Instead.
They'll market the opposite.
Very, very, very
They'll
smart.
just do all the multiversal characters and won't do Ezra Miller at all. That's what I think. And so my perspective is I think it is they'll make more money. I think they'll make a larger profit if they recast the role and reshoot it.
Yeah.
I think that, and it depends on how much they want this, because the whole point of this movie is to reboot the DC universe.
Yeah.
So
it is very important.
It's important.
And I feel like even then, if they don't make the money, I feel like they should, they want fucking the Flash to return.
Yeah.
Again. Because it's like, you want to see Peter Parker's Spider-Man, you want to see Tom Holland again, right?
Yeah, the character is 100% going to be recast in future projects.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
But I think this is a great opportunity to, you're a year ahead of when it's supposed to come out. You might as well just reshoot.
Here's the thing. They already have the script locked in. They've already got the CGI done. They've got all of the cinematography. They know each and every shot that they need to do.
Exactly.
So they could make this movie quicker and cheaper than they did originally with a new actor.
Oh, 100%. And I'm sure, with CG, they wouldn't have to change much.
No, exactly. I don't think from a CG perspective there's anything really.
A couple million. Surely. But,
so
I think that's probably the way to go, because then they're like, okay, sweet, we can run with this guy because he's not going to kidnap a bunch of children.
Oh, he can actually market the movie.
Yeah, and he's but I hope Ezra.
Yeah,
I hope they figure out
normalcy.
Yeah, I hope
eventually.
I don't know. I just want to find out what's happened to him.
See, the thing is,
in his head.
clearly something's happened and the public doesn't know about it.
Yeah, there's clearly been like that's what I mean. I think like clearly something has happened. Like at the very, very beginning of, or like, you know, when we started hearing about this, that like, you know, put him down this path.
Yeah.
Like, because like how, you know, was he difficult on set?
No.
Then that's what I mean. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So the Ezra Miller of it all. I do have another quick news story as well to cover.
Yeah? Okay.
Which is this is just funny. This is just so funny. Okay, so there was a Spider-Man fan film being made. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't, actually.
Spider-Man fan film being made called Spider-Man Lotus.
Lotus.
Like
the flower?
Like the flower. I don't know why they picked that as a name anyway.
Blue
it doesn't
Lotus.
matter. And so essentially a bunch of teenagers raised over $100,000 to make this fan film. It got support from Andrew Garfield and director John Watts, who did the No Way Home movies.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And it turns out that I'll go in chronological order. It turns out there was a bunch of leaked DMs from the actor playing Peter Parker Spider-Man, just filled with the most racist shit imaginable. Okay, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Then the director of the movie comes out with an apology saying, like, look, I knew he was a bit of a toxic human being, but I've seen him develop and grow from that, and I don't think he's the person that he once was. And then there were DMs leaked of the director saying absolutely insane racist shit. They tried to cover it up. They tried to cover it up by showing a picture of like their version of the Green Goblin. Turns out the actor playing Green Goblin is incredibly racist as well.
What the fuck?
So it's just this group of incredibly racist people making a Spider-Man movie together, and there's all these memes of like him walking past like Miles Morales going like the scene of Soldier Boy and the Boys when he walks past the gay couple and he's like, oh, that's kind of weird. Because he's a man out of time.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Anyway, and this all came up because the director, I don't know how old he is now, but he's like a teenager. Like 5 or 6 years ago, was friends with like a little kid whose dream it was to make a Spider-Man movie. And they had like this really good connection over Spider-Man. And essentially the director stole all of his ideas and made his own movie, out of it. And then this kid kind of grew up like around him, and like not only that, but
realized
how toxic he was as well as a human being, and how toxic all the people he was hanging out with was, and then planned this revenge after this started getting so much traction.
Wow! Wow! And he's the one that's leaking. Oh my god, that is amazing. They should write a movie on that. Like, do that fucking movie. Holy shit. So, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That makes me feel so much better about, like, these teenagers doing what they love, but in actual, reality, they're all toxic human beings. That's interesting.
Getting their comeuppance. And I just think it's just a really funny story. I feel terrible for all the people who put money into this project.
Yeah. You'll probably never see that ever again.
No. Yeah, but you'd also just feel bad that like you gave money to racist people.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It's not a good feeling. So shout out to those people. I'm sorry that you lost your money there.
Yeah.
And yeah, this whole Spider-Man Lotus saga, man, like, so it's just really funny.
The racist saga.
Spider-Man racist is what it should be called.
Oh well. You know what they say: you win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some. And these racist people have lost a lot in the past couple of days. Anyway,
that's so good.
Moving on, let's talk about General Kenobi.
He's not even in it. General Grievous isn't even in it.
Hello there. Meme?
Hello there.
So spoilers. Have you seen the meme where it's when he says hello there to Luke, and then Luke goes General Kenobi, and he gets his four arms.
Yeah. I saw that.
Oh, the memes are fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I love that he said that for the last line.
Yeah,
like that's just good writing, right there.
It's also incredibly lazy writing. But it does its job.
Yeah, no, but it's like it's also like
it's perfect.
It's perfect. It's perfect for
first words to Luke being hello there.
Hello there. But it's weird. okay, like we need to talk about. So yeah, Luke in A New Hope doesn't really know who Ben is. Kind of like
Yeah, well, yeah, he's like, he doesn't know of Obi-Wan Kenobi. He knows old Ben Kenobi, and he like just kind of knows him, but not.
Yeah.
They don't have a relationship. Whereas Leia seems to know him because he goes, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Which is obviously, shown and explored in this show, which you pointed out the last time we talked about this show, because I purely just wanted it to be, just Obi-Wan fucking going
protecting
off.
Luke.
No, not even that. Just Obi-Wan going off on a mission on him, like by himself. Just exploring his character more in depth. Really, I just want to see Ewan be,
yeah. Well, yeah,
Obi-Wan again, and I mean we did get that in this, but
yes. So I think if we take the show, so like when we reviewed it last, we had seen the first 3 episodes, first half of the season. I liked it. You a bit more.
I was 50-50. Yeah, 50-50. But I'd like to say that I definitely it grew on me, and I definitely enjoyed it more.
Yeah, I would say after the initial 3 episodes, episode 4 I thought was like a bit I didn't feel the need to watch episode 4. It just felt like a side story that didn't progress anything forward at all. But then episode 5 started to pick back up again, and then episode 6, the finale, I think was like one of the best things Star Wars has done.
Yeah.
But one of the best things Disney has done with Star Wars.
Yes.
Was that final episode.
I agree.
I think that the journey wasn't great, but the destination was.
Yeah. So it's like Top Gun where the journey was great and the destination was great. This was where, I actually agree very much so, because like the journey was a bit like, it was just world building. It was just kind of like reminding you of like what the fuck's going on and what Obi-Wan's doing, and then Leia gets thrown into it, and you're kind of just like Leia. Leia gets thrown Leia into Organa. It, and I was honestly at first I was uninterested. I was like, well, am I watching this child fly around?
I think part of the issue is that for the most part throughout the show, Obi-Wan doesn't have
much.
Well, he doesn't have much agency. Like, he doesn't do much. Like, things are asked of him. He's not actively doing stuff in the story.
He's kind of like Luke in, the Skywalker saga,
The sequels.
The sequel. No, not... Yeah, the sequels, yeah.
Like, are you talking about, like, Last Jedi in that?
The terrible ones, yeah. He's a bit, like, just so underwhelming. And he's like, this is Luke fucking Skywalker, people. And even... Mark Hamill, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
He was like, "This sucks ass." Who wrote this?
For him doing it anyway.
I know. Oh, 100. Like he has to. But like, even he was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, well, I'm on this island, like sulking away.
I know this. I don't know. The thing I liked most about this show
was Darth Vader.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
They killed it. Like
they fucking did so good. Oh my god.
The way they. Because a big issue I have, and this show fixes a lot of it. A big issue is the gap between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope just is really jarring.
Yeah,
and this show does a great job bridging that gap. One of the things is making Hayden Christensen's Anakin get closer to Darth Vader.
Yes, they did work on that, and that's with the character. I've forgotten her name. Grand Inquisitor who doesn't become Grand Inquisitor.
Raver?
Yeah.
Is it Raver?
You can't. If you know what we're talking about, you know what we're talking about. She's great. And I do like her. Her motivation and her story. Very good.
Which I said that she was a Padawan.
You did.
She was a Padawan.
You did, and that made
turned out to be true.
Yeah. But no, I honestly really enjoyed what they did.
Yeah,
bridging that gap.
Yeah, I think in the last episode specifically, when spoilers, when Darth Vader gets his helmet cut open and you see, Hayden Christensen come through and like his voice blends with James Earl Jones's voice, it just does such a good job of making you feel like, yes, this is the same character.
Yeah.
Like who we see in A New Hope is the same as Revenge of the Sith. And it does such a good job of bridging that gap and making a lot of sense of certain things that are said in A New Hope. Like, for example, like when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan have the fight in A New Hope, things said are like, oh, well, actually, before that, one of the things Obi-Wan says to Luke is, Darth Vader killed your father.
Yeah.
Right? And then later on he says, from a certain point of view, that was true. Like, we didn't get an explanation. But then in this, we actually see Darth Vader himself say that, yeah, no, Obi-Wan, you did not kill Anakin Skywalker, I did.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, that is kind of, it's not retconning, it's actually providing a solution.
It is, yeah.
And bridging the gap in a way that makes more sense. And another one is the line in the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in A New Hope, where Darth Vader says, like, oh, the last time we met, you were the master or something, and now I am the master.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it's like, okay, so was that fight referring to the one on Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
Like, originally it was, right? But now this is saying that, no, they fought in between those two fights.
Yeah.
But it does a good job of explaining it because, like, Darth Vader in this is still not a master of his craft, even though he's so powerful.
He is so powerful, but he's getting there.
And we see when Palpatine talks to him, and it says like, oh, I think Obi-Wan's like, it's kind of like his kryptonite, right? Like you've got to forgo that hatred towards Obi-Wan if you want to become a master.
Yeah.
So I think he learns that lesson, and then that's why he says the line where it's like, last time we met, you were the master, but now I'm the master.
Yeah, and that's
it actually
why
makes sense.
Obi-Wan just was like, when he heard that, he's like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, time to.
I've been here.
Or whatever.
This is not my destiny. But yeah, and then we saw Liam Neeson.
We saw Liam Neeson, and that's another area where it's like, yeah, it's bridging, it's making the prequels and the original trilogy closer together and making it feel more aligned. I like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's like, this can't be one and done.
I know, and I really hope it isn't. I really hope they're like, oh fuck, we did really well, and Ewan's awesome. Like, surely we get him meeting Mandalorian.
It was the biggest. Oh wow! Does the timing line up? I guess potentially.
Yeah.
Like you need Mandalorian would be quite young, but you could potentially get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like they got the story at like the end of this episode, the last like 5 minutes, tying up all the loose ends, right? And they get all the pieces into the places where they need to be for A New Hope. But we kind of see that, hey, Luke can be taken care of by the uncle and aunt or whatever.
That's true.
Fine.
Just fine.
And now Obi-Wan's met Qui-Gon in his, Force Ghost form. Maybe there is a way for Obi-Wan to have a story outside of Princess Leia, outside of Luke.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. And this
outside of Darth Vader.
Yes, exactly. This lays down the perfect foundation for just maybe putting in more context to when we do see him in The New Hope, and just because like he's still goated. He's still goated on the sticks. He's still an insane master.
Yeah, and the whole point,
he's an awesome character.
The whole point of this journey in this show was that he went from being like the recluse who didn't want to intervene. He wanted to remain out of it, remain in hiding, to being and stepping up and being a Jedi again.
Yeah.
Right. So then he can't just then be in hiding for the next 10 years until A New Hope.
That's what I mean. So I really hope if Disney are like, we can make so much money, like, just do it. Just pull the trigger. Be like, let's make another season of just Obi-Wan, just chilling out in the world, or go on an adventure or something.
It's just him, not as a Jedi. He's just
going
as
a Jedi.
To a restaurant.
Oh yeah, just going out, having a good time.
It turns into a sitcom.
Yeah. Being a Jedi and helping, or just I don't know, doing something.
It is the biggest Disney Plus show yet.
In terms of
viewership.
Good. Very good.
It means it boosts the chances of something happening.
But, I mean, maybe that's also because there's Darth Vader in it. Maybe, Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
No, of course.
Because you're obviously going to take out Darth Vader if you make a standalone.
The thing I want to ask you about is, did they, was bringing back Hayden Christensen for, a few scenes worth it?
Yes.
Or should they have done more?
I think they should have done more. The right amount? But again, I'm just happy that there was that context of because he was always like that. He was always I'm aggressive. And that's why he didn't grant the rank of master. And that's what made him fucking pissed off. And then even still, as Darth Vader, Palpatine's like, yeah, look, you're running into the exact same fucking problem.
Yeah,
and then I feel like there would have been something in his mind, been like, wait. So you're telling me, like the Jedi who said this exact same thing to me, like, you know, and I was like, they're fucking bullshitting, and then you're saying the exact same thing to me. It's like, maybe they were right. Maybe I did all of this.
If both sides are
just
telling
being
me,
ignorant and arrogant.
That's fun. That's a great reading of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the whole point of Darth Vader is he's the most tragic character. He was just manipulated the entire time.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, he is. He's fucking... And I love him for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of the flashback with to Attack of the Clones when they're fighting, like, the training, you know?
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about. That's what I liked.
Yeah.
I liked when, you know, we got that glimpse into, you know, again, like, back to when they were the boys, and like it is great because you do see, like, you know, how he went down his path of like, fuck, I'm not getting it, and then just, you know.
But then we see when he fights Reva at the end of episode 5 that he learned his lesson, because he fucking obliterates her.
Oh yeah,
like steals her lightsaber, has 2 lightsabers, about to chop her like fucking head off, like Count Dooku.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a Count Dooku fucking PTSD scene.
Yeah.
But no, he showed her mercy.
Yeah.
Very little, because he's like, I'm still going to kill you. But I loved how when the ship was flying off, like he fucking was like, nah.
This is the thing.
And
we've always wanted to see Darth Vader in his prime.
Yeah.
And we've never got it until now. We finally got to see.
But I want to see him do like more fucked up shit.
No, I know.
Like,
it's the issue they run into is the more fucked up shit he does now, then the worse he looks in the original trilogy.
I know, yeah. Well, like, think about it, is that, like, you know, in the original trilogy, he's just chilling. Like, he's like, no.
Like, I'm fighting an 18-year-old, I think I'm alright.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do I really need to, like, fucking just, you know, like, he could just do this to his head. Like, no wonder, you know, the choke scene.
Yeah.
Like, think about it, you could just pop people, you know, like in the
popper.
Boys. Yeah, like the popper in the boy. Like, you know, there's like, why is he bothering choking people?
Because this is Disney, and
they're
not gonna.
Yeah,
but that's like how lightsabers no longer delimb anyone.
Yeah, true. That? Yeah, there's no heads falling off. Or...
No arms anymore.
I mean, the snap of the neck, though. Like that's what I.
That was pretty. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, if they can do that, then surely you can just like force someone up in the air and, like, you know, tear off all their limbs. Like, that's what I mean.
Of course he could. I'm just saying they're not going to do that.
And he did that to a ship. He fucking like just ripped it apart, which is so satisfying to see. But it reminds me of I think it was like the Force Awakens video game on Wii or whatever, where you play as...
No, the Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. That's my bad.
Yeah, Killer.
Yeah, you become Star Killer, and he's fucked. Like, he's... Well, he brings down like an
entire Star Destroyer. Yeah,
like I remember seeing that. I was like, I want to see
Darth Vader do that.
I want to see Darth Vader or like Star Killer do that.
Someone of that level. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because that's what we're here for. I mean, we got the Mandalorian. We got, you know, just a guy that the whole fucking movie is, or the whole you know show is that he just doesn't realize he's in Star Wars, which is great.
Yeah,
we got Boba Fett, which is, you know, kind of.
It was just a weird. There was just a bunch of mini side stories.
Yeah, but we need like, okay, we want to see the main fucking character.
Here's what I think they should do now.
Yeah,
essentially do what they did with Obi-Wan, but for Luke, because we know that they can, you know, de-age him. We saw it in Book of Boba Fett. It looked 10 out of 10.
It did. It looked very good.
Why don't we get a whole Luke show?
I mean. Yeah, you're right.
Luke in his prime. Luke in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, we did see it in Mandalorian as well, where he's just going fucking ape shit, as he should. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like it's time now that, you know, CGI's gotten to a point where, like, they can do it.
I want to see. I want to see fucking a Jedi in their prime, just fucking destroying
even a Sith,
shit.
Sith being like the Darth Vader, just being a menace. You know, or even like, you know, see someone from the prequels,
Darth Maul.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, apparently, like, we don't know, but, you know, Ahsoka Tano is getting her own show.
That's true.
We might see Darth Vader, maybe Darth Maul, maybe who knows?
Yeah, I mean, but she's pretty goated.
She's pretty goated, and I feel like that might be the Jedi in their prime show.
Because I mean, she wasn't like Obi. She kept to it. She was like
she's like I could be getting this wrong. Star Wars fans, don't kill me. I think she's like a grey Jedi or something because she has the white lightsabers.
That's true.
So it's like you're in between the good and the not necessarily bad, but you're not,
like you don't align yourself with the
with
Jedi.
The Jedi. It's kind of
Yeah, she's a bit of a freelancer.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Speaking of lightsabers, what did you think of the actual lightsaber fight in Episode 6?
It's fucking awesome. I mean, when Obi-Wan was using the only thing I didn't like was when Obi-Wan was like using the Force and all these rocks, and he just
you didn't like that?
Like, yeah, it looked a bit jarring. It looked a bit like weird how he just kind of rose his hands and then all these rocks. Like, I like the idea, like you still have to move your fucking hand to do, to motion things. Like, it's not a fully like a telekinesis power where you go like 11 where she just fucking uses her mind and nosebleeds and then something happens. Like, I like that the Force is like, close the door, open the door. Or with Darth Vader, like, they did it there where like he fucking would do this action, he'd clench and then rip open the door, like where he just was like this and then all these rocks behind. Like, I didn't like that. But
fair.
What did you think?
Here's the thing. I liked the emotional payoff of this fight was 10 out of 10. They nailed
100%,
that.
100%.
And everything that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader was saying to each other was just so impactful and like did such a good job of like telling the story, like getting us closer to a new hope. And I liked the end choreography where Obi-Wan's breaking Darth Vader's machinery.
Yes, that was great.
And then like the throwing of the rocks as well.
Very similar to like how was it The Dark Knight Rises when Batman overcomes Bane by like hitting his fucking
his weak points.
Weak points, right? Yeah.
No, I thought that was really cool because it was like showing how much better, like how Obi-Wan's not blinded by something like rage or something. He's able to use his brain and win.
He's fucking
because Darth Vader is supposed to be more powerful.
And I mean, he is, but he's again, it makes sense blinded. That's why like they're Yoda and Grogu, who are these little fucking creatures, are just so not blinded, and they just are pure. They're pure because they're just these little creatures. Whereas Darth Vader's is fucking huge.
He's 7 foot tall.
He's 7 foot tall.
You're saying it's height.
It's all in the height. Yeah, that's the key. That's the key, guys. So if you're tall, you're dog shit.
Yeah.
You can't become a Jedi.
That's why he slaughtered all the Padawans.
Yes.
Because it's like it's too much good going on with these little people. Gotta kill them all.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
No, but I don't know what I was going to... but, like, you get what I mean.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, the one thing I want to criticize these fights for is that Disney doesn't understand how lightsabers work. Like, they've turned them from laser swords into, like, batons. You know what I mean? Like, they don't feel like they, like, slice through things anymore. And they feel like they just like fucking bounce off each other, but not in like
they feel
like sticks.
They are like sticks, like that actually is very true because when they do hit each other, they go bang, and then it's like a rip, like where bang. I feel like it, you
in
should
Star Wars,
connect.
It used to be because the laser swords there's some connection or like some physics behind them that makes them clash.
Well, when do you think was the best like what's your top ranked lightsaber fight?
For me, look, it's one of those things that it has to be, for me, Revenge of the Sith. Obi-Wan versus Anakin. Now,
yes, I think that's the best one we ever get.
Now, yes, it is a little over the top.
Yes.
It's a little over the top.
But
maybe some would say.
Again, when I think I watched it 4 times. Like when I watched this movie for the first time, because I thought it was amazing. Like I think I want to go home and watch it again because I haven't watched it in so long. But like as a kid, when that scene happened, like I was just so happy.
The reason it's so good is because it works on an emotional level, the choreography is sick. The cinematography going over the lava.
And just where they're fighting as well.
The fight choreography itself is insane, right? And they clearly rehearsed that, like put billions of hours into getting that just perfect.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And you're seeing two Jedi in their prime.
Exactly. And that's what I want to show on is people in their prime. I mean, we love those journeys, but like at the same time, we like, you know, these people in their prime maybe like having an emotional journey. They're still goated, but they're you know, a little clouded.
One of the things I hated about the fight in Obi-Wan Kenobi in Episode 6 is that like, why is it like a dark rock planet again? Like can we find somewhere cooler to fight as well? Like,
true.
The fight itself was great, but
like I mean, okay, like let's think about it. What else could we think of?
I don't know, like a ship that's falling apart, or in one of the city planets.
Yeah,
like
how
on
about
top of
like on one of their cool bases, the fucking the order or whatever they're fucking called, just have like laced around the
like
the galaxy.
There's all of these different planets, like why just a rock planet, like
you're right.
Like if the rock planet, let's make it like sunset and not dark. So there's some red light coming in, or maybe make the sun a different color. I don't fucking care. Make it blue or something. Anyway, have it like sunset, rock planet, and have like all these waterfalls like that they're fighting over instead. So it's slightly different to like a lava fight.
And they're using the the environment.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, he was just throwing rocks at him, but like I don't know. You're very right.
Visually,
very
it looks boring.
Yeah,
I think the fight choreography was okay. Again, it feels like it had like a tough time bridging the gap in terms of fight choreography between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Because of course, in A New Hope, it's two old people going bang, 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 like, and then a slow spin. Whereas in Revenge of the Sith,
it's like they're fucking disco dancing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's so quick.
So they needed to bridge the gap, and I understand that, and I think they got close, but it just felt like they weren't doing I don't know. To me they feel the same as the sequel trilogy lightsaber fights, and that's not a good thing. The sequel lightsaber fights, like sure you can say they're very like kind of more brutal, and it's more about like heavy hits, but it just the choreography itself feels bland.
It's just the ones with Rey. I still they're terrible. They're so bad. The only cool thing about those trilogies is the actual effect of the lightsabers.
And that is something I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because now the lightsabers are LEDs.
Yeah.
So that the light from the lightsaber can hit the actors' faces.
And that was very well done. Cool. When Obi-Wan had the blue
and Darth Vader with the red.
Yeah, it looked very, very good.
Woo.
So yeah,
that's one of the benefits of the Disney lightsabers is the LEDs. Yeah, that is cool.
That is cool. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's
I got one more thing.
One more thing.
Star Wars is known for its music, and John Williams came back for this, and it just it wasn't memorable. It didn't hit me.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't any like uniqueness to it outside of that. It was Star Wars music,
but it wasn't like it doesn't have that gravitas to it that they do in other movies, especially the lightsaber fights.
Yeah, you're right. You are very right. I mean, we watched The Phantom Menace, and just
Duel of the Fates, baby.
Like
Duel of the Fates.
Is insane. That is, I think, the best. The duel as well is really, really good with the two fighting one, 2-on-1, and also just again the setting for that.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? But it was amazing.
It was so cool.
It was so cool.
Aesthetically pleasing.
It just looked amazing, and then there were the laser rooms where they all had to fucking wait. It was just so good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, it had a good pacing to the fight. I think this fight with Obi-Wan didn't have the best pacing, because it was they had the fight, then Obi-Wan got crumbed with all the rocks.
Yeah, he got a couple breadcrumbs on him.
Got a couple breadcrumbs on him, and then he got back up, and they continued fighting, and that was it.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it had a good journey.
Yeah.
Like a start and an end.
It was kind of they had to fight.
It's like,
in the script,
if they had
to fight.
a straight line with rocks on either side. It's like they started there, went to the other side, and then went back to the other side. It's like didn't have like a journey through the space.
Yeah.
The same way like Revenge of the Sith, where they start like where the spaceship is, and then they end up all the way over there with the lava flowing.
And
like it's got a journey to it, which this didn't really have. So yeah, and I think that's just an issue that for some reason I don't know why, but under Disney they just haven't got the lightsaber fights right. I don't know why.
They need to take a book from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that's a Disney franchise, funnily enough.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I'm mentioning it, because in the first one, the Black Pearl, the first fight scene you see between Captain Jack Sparrow and what's his fucking name? William Turner or Bootstrap. Is it William?
Yes. Well, Bootstrap's his dad.
Yeah. Like that fight scene is so good. Like they go, it's in his blacksmith. And they're using like the fucking environment to their advantage, and they're just going. Even the fight scene in the second one, where they're fighting on the wheel, like that's a Disney franchise, and they understand why these fight scenes are so good because they take the viewer on a fucking journey, and it's sick. And like that was a fight scene with three, I think, like there was
3 people,
Jack Sparrow, William Turner, and the other bloke.
Was it Jeffrey Rush?
I can't remember. Like he was.
Barbosa?
They were, no, not Barbosa. They were trying to get the key.
No, I know what you're talking about. No, I don't know who the third person was.
He was like they found him in a pigsty or some shit. I should know this. I love that series.
You're a Pirates of the Caribbean
I'm an avid,
expert.
But that scene, like, and then they end on the beach, and then fucking there's the boys, the crew of
pirates.
I'm having a total mind blank. David Jones, and they're all there.
Not David. His name's not David Jones. It's Davy Jones.
Oh, Davy Jones. I'm so fucking sorry. All right. But yeah.
What was the point?
My point was the journey.
The journey of the fight.
The fucking journey you have. And these fights went on for like 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, can't they just do that? Can't they be like, oh, guys, I'm really sorry. This episode's going to be 45 minutes. Like,
well, I mean, that's a brilliant thing. Like, with
why do we need we don't want half an hour episodes. Do what The Boys does and have an hour episode, because even that hour goes...
I don't know why. Yeah, it's a thing Disney Plus has been doing with the Marvel and Star Wars shows, is that
half an hour is too little.
They're not always hard. It's up to the kind of the creatives to make the length of the episode, but for some reason they always go shorter than longer.
Yeah.
But like if we look at Barry's a great half hour.
Oh my god, it's the best half hour I think you can watch on TV, and I would even call that like that's short, but like that's.
It's straight to the point.
It's short, but it should be short. Whereas this should be long because it's an epic because it's fucking Star Wars.
Yeah. Nah, you're right.
But yeah.
Nah, I think that cut. So look, shows a bit mid apart from last episodes, which are pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely like they're on the right track. That's all I'd say. They're on the right track.
Definitely, Disney is trying to recover from this. The sequel trilogy the best they can.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting in the right direction. They just need, I don't know, they just need to focus on like telling good stories with great directors outside of like the core canon, if you know what I mean. Like I feel like they need to start, like The Mandalorian is so great because it's not like constrained by like the Skywalker stuff.
Exactly. It's just, on its own kind of road.
And so I feel like Star Wars and under Disney needs to start trying to do its own thing. Maybe go to a completely different galaxy, like another galaxy far, far away. Yeah,
there was trying to remember. I think this was from The Force Unleashed. But like there's this video on YouTube. I'm like I'll pull it up. We'll put it in the description or some shit. But it was of like these two brothers that fought side by side in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, literally 2 brothers, and these guys have yellow lightsabers, if that grants context. And they're not like they're not bad nor good. Like there's no similarities that we see with them. They seem to just be the big clan, I guess, and that looked fucking sick. Like, and then again we've seen with again, I keep forgetting these animations, the Star Wars animations.
Oh, the visions.
Yeah, the visions. Like, it can be done. It can be done. Enough people want to just see the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I mean, like that first episode where like it's a Sith versus a Sith. Like that's like we don't like why can't the hero of the story use the dark side, but like kind of be
in
a different way. Like,
I actually want to watch that again. For fuck's sake.
Like I think we've seen anti-heroes go well and go badly, like Venom and Morbius.
Yeah.
But either way, an anti-hero Star Wars story would actually be kind of cool if following a Sith. That's maybe.
Well, yeah, definitely anybody from fucking, the New Republic.
I definitely
is like Operation Cinder.
Oh, wow.
Or shout out to all my Operation Cinder fans.
That's right. Is that from Battlefront 2? Is that one?
Yeah, it is. It is,
Wow.
but it's Bill Burr. Bill Burr fucking talks about it. Which again, remember, that was that awesome scene where Bill Burr's like, "I want to fucking kill you." But yeah, no, great that you pointed out in Battlefront 2 because it's cool how they talk about it and they show it in the video game.
Yeah.
And then it's talked about in the Mandalorian. Like it's such a cool universe. I love that.
Yeah, because the thing with Star Wars is like everything is in this universe together. It's Star Wars. It's this one universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. I definitely think whatever they do next, I want more lightsabers. I want
more lightsabers,
a lot of
more
lightsabers.
epic fucking fights, more main characters, more people where the entire universe revolves around them. Not, I mean, the Mandalorian's great, but
he's just the great thing about the Mandalorian is that he's just a battler.
He's just he
struggles his way through everything.
Exactly. Other than getting his new ship, which is so good.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to milk that and be like, oh yeah, he might get this. But you have to watch the next couple of seasons and then it'll be fully built. But I'm glad they're like, no, we'll just do it in one episode.
We'll do it.
And then he's got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it in Boba Fett because the show's dog shit. But yeah, very good.
Yeah.
All right, now we have to
the Boars.
The Boars.
We're moving on to the Boars on
Boars.
Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Herogasm.
Now there was a lot of hype.
A lot of hype. Cast and crew.
Yeah.
Saying a lot of good stuff about this episode in particular.
And I mean,
it's based on a comic story that was very well known. Like in terms of in the comics, it was like one of these stories for the boys. Herogasm. It's like this is the real fucked one. Like everyone knows going into this episode, Herogasm's the fucked one.
Yeah.
And was it the fucked one?
No.
Yeah, I agree. I think spoilers for Herogasm and the season up until this far, season 3 of The Boys.
Yeah.
But the premiere where Termite goes inside, a little man goes inside a journey in a man's urethra.
Yes.
And then sneezes and grows and explodes.
And chops the man in half.
That's not something I think you can top.
Yeah. Like that's what we were all talking about after we watched this episode because we're like, okay, like we've seen it all, and you just see more of all of that.
Yeah.
There's nothing that really tops that. Like there was no, other than that superhero with just, I don't know, like the anaconda cock.
Yeah.
That you see first.
Love sausage.
Yeah. It was like, okay, great superpower, dude. But like you see him first, and then that's it. That's all you see. And then it gets back into the story.
There's stuff going on in the background. It's not like in your face.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of stuff going on in the background, but again, it's like it's not even that, fucked.
It would have been fine if they weren't hyping this episode up or like.
But that's what I mean. I think there were some things because they obviously had to cut a lot of things apparently to get it.
Oh, really? To get it on screen?
Yeah. I think with the initial, like, I really want there to be a Final Cut version. I doubt that. Well, no.
I mean, how would they release it?
That's what
on Pornhub.
Maybe. But like they had this cut and they gave it to Amazon Prime, and I'm pretty sure they're like 4 countries have declined it, and they're like, oh fuck, all right, we'll have to take it back.
We have to take it back.
So that's what I mean. I think that.
Yeah, No, I agree with that. They definitely took it as far as they possibly could.
Yeah. And I mean, but it's still made for a really good episode.
Oh, yeah. Outside of the Herogasm stuff, the stories being told are fantastic. Like, I think what's interesting about this season is it's got so many side stories going on at once. but it's doing a good job juggling them all.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, they all feel similar to Barry, how you would see a scene of a character you've never seen before, and you'd be like, what the fuck is this? You watch it for 3 minutes, and then later on, you'd find out about them, and it'd make complete sense, the context you were given beforehand, which I think The Boys is doing very well in. How
about let's go through each of the storylines and just get our thoughts. Let's start on the one that I think's the weakest, and I just don't know where they're going with it. Is Kimiko and Frenchie.
I personally love that story, but yeah, I know it's lost its...
Like, where's it going?
Lost its kapow. I think it's ended, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that Russian woman's still alive.
Yeah.
It's just, is the point that we're finally getting, like, the love story? Is that the point? Or, like...
I guess so, but it's also this journey of Kimiko being like, I'm the monster.
Yeah,
and then she lost her powers, and then she realized, well, yeah, I've still lost my powers, but I'm still like a badass, and I'm killing all these people.
Yeah.
To be fair, that fight scene was fucked. That was a really good fight scene between Kimiko and these two Russian blokes who are just very, very dead. But like that was a very compelling fight scene, and like, you know, at the end, Frenchie was like, well, just the whole story of Frenchie, I really, really like.
I like Frenchie as a character. He's definitely he's like
he's a highlight.
He's the most like kind of emotional one out of the boys.
He is, but he's emotional. Like, he's emotional
the one
in a
that has
way.
The most like empathy.
Yeah, he's emotional in a way that doesn't like hurt the storyline or doesn't hurt the franchise, because like it's difficult when, you know, like it's a franchise full of a lot of fucked things. You can't have this empathetic, you know, Disney princess character. He's empathetic, but he's so like, it's because he's had a fucked past, like, and I really like that. And all I want is, you know, for him to just chill out and have a good life. And I think, you know, I like the storyline. I think it's probably one of the stronger ones. But yeah, that's my
from my perspective, I think it's because I don't know where it's
you don't know. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I think it's one of the weaker ones.
Yeah,
and like kind of the issue I had when watching the episode was I was kind of like, can we get back to the other storylines?
Fair.
That's just my opinion.
To be fair, in that episode, I did feel like that when it was like, oh, where the fuck are we now? And it's like, oh, it's Frenchie, and I was like, okay. And then we saw the cool fight scene. I was like, no, it's cool. I
did. One thing I loved was the ongoing joke about how Frenchie would have loved this. That he missed out on Herogasm.
Yeah, that was
and
that
it's
was
like
good.
I can just see them like when they eventually all come back together again. Frenchie finding out that they went to Herogasm and he's going to be so upset that he missed out on it. I think that's a good little funny character joke.
Yeah, no, that was good that MM made that. But yeah, well, let's talk about the other side story.
MM and what's her name? Vicky? What the fuck?
I can't remember.
Isn't that Starlight?
Yeah, no, what's her name?
Annie January.
Annie, yeah. How did you forget, you piece of shit? Don't blame me.
No, but see, that's so funny that her name is Annie January. Like, that's her actual name. Because it's such a comic booky name.
Yeah, it is.
You know, at the end when she's doing the live stream.
This is Annie January.
Yeah, I'm not Starlight anymore.
Good thing to point out, though, that all these episodes in this season have ended with her. I found that on Reddit.
Oh,
so yeah, she's one of the episodes
definitely like the hero of this story.
That's what I mean. She's the only. I mean, her and MM.
Yeah, they're the moral barometers.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and I like that
that they found each other. It's a really good pairing.
It is.
Like the responsible, mature ones.
Because they're fighting it how Butcher was supposed to fight it if he didn't. Well, you know, like. I mean, he's
taking
doing
the high road.
He's technically doing it. You know, I say the scummy way, but the way I would honestly, personally choose as well, because I couldn't like, you know, you're fighting someone that's like just sexually assaulted and raped your wife. Like, I feel like at that point you can do whatever the fuck you want. You have any road's the right road. Like, you know,
which is Butcher's whole
philosophy,
story arc, right? And that's why
that's infecting Huey as well.
Well, because Huey's whole journey is that he's always been the not only weak
weak motherfucker.
He's always been weak in the world of the boys, but now he's also weak in the team. Like, he's the weakest guy in the team.
Yeah.
Like, and he feels like he can't contribute without also having superpowers.
Yeah.
And this then impacts his relationship with Starlight, because the whole relationship was founded on, like, it's okay that there's this power dynamic.
And she likes that, because she doesn't like... I guess she doesn't necessarily like having a superpower.
Yeah.
Because she fucking barely uses it, which is fair.
But then Huey feels like he just wants an opportunity to save Starlight and not it always be the other way around.
Yeah.
Which... The good thing that the show's doing is it's like, yes, Huey's being a bit of a dick, but it's justifiable.
Again, it's like Thanos. You know, you're giving him an insight into why he's doing it, and you're like, yeah, I can see where he's coming from. And I definitely would be on, like, you know, like I want to see where Huey goes. I'm not gonna like fault him. I wouldn't say I'm on his side or I'm on.
It depends on his side, on his story, because it can obviously go more south for Huey, and he can end up
like hurting someone or something, and then he'll realize, like, the toll that of having a superpower. But
so it's going to be interesting. So I think the most interesting thing the show has done this season has been split up the core members of the team into the brains and the brawns, essentially. So Butcher and
Huey and Soldier Boy,
they're the brawns, and then you got
MM
and Starlight as the brains, and now they're going to the same fight in different ways. And have different journeys to get to Herogasm and then intertwining and what happens
and figuring it out
and Butcher and MM having a fight and Huey and Starlight having a fight over it. Like, it's brilliant writing.
It is great writing, like, with all these characters. It's very, very good. And then fucking Homelander shows up, and it's like,
ooh, boy,
this fight. I mean,
Homelander. My God, here's the thing: is like, this show doesn't have a lot of fights, and I would say
again, I like that.
I mean, it does when it does dialogue scenes so well. It doesn't need that many fight scenes.
Yeah.
But this is they weren't swinging for the fences with this fight scene. They actually tried real hard. To me, it feels like a really good type of DC Justice League fight, because of course heat vision, flying, that's very DC, right?
Yeah.
But it feels like a great DC fight, and that's a real good
100%.
That's an applause.
I mean, yes, one of our housemates was saying, the lasers were the laser.
The CGI of the laser.
CGI was a bit off, but I mean, it's not the selling point of the show.
Yeah.
You do need to see the superpowers once in a while.
And you know what's interesting about the show is it's been building up the Soldier Boy Homelander fight, but then you care way more about the Butcher Homelander fight because the emotional payoff.
100%. And that just seeing, that payoff when Homelander was like, "What have you done?" And Butcher is just fucking grinning and manically at him. And that was just, I think, scorched earth. I love that. I love that so much, because that's all he's wanted is to just
be able to take him on.
Able to do that. And I think this Compound V 24-hour version is great.
It's great.
Compound V Light.
We'll see what comes of it, because we of course saw Huey's ear bleed green.
But for Butcher, this is all he wants. He that's why he didn't want Huey to do it, because he's like, look, this is gonna fuck me. The side effects are obviously gonna kill me.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because all I want to do is just kill Homelander, and then I can die, Yeah. Whereas Huey's got a life ahead of him. And that's why, I mean, that's what I, that might be a thing that happens in the next couple episodes. Is that,
Only 2 more left.
Yeah, I know, but, maybe Huey gets sick, maybe something happens to him, and then Butcher feels like he's at fault. But then again, Butcher did, try to stop him, and then he did. He did it without Butcher knowing. So you can't really, blame him, but at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah. No, and that's why there's all these challenges the characters are facing, and the struggles between all the different characters. It's so
good,
well written.
Yeah.
And
next side story.
Oh, fucking A-Train and Blue Hawk. It
came to an end. It came to a fucking end.
Came to an end.
Spoilers, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we're talking spoilers. My God, I loved A-Train's story this season about how, now that he's kind of lost his speed, how can he be influential? And he's trying to do the whole race thing, but he's doing it so like artificially, not like it's not coming in place of being genuine.
Yeah.
And then this all explodes by Blue Hawk, like badly paralyzing his brother.
Yeah.
And it and then A-Train realizing how like the casualties of superhero, violence, and how, like, Blue Hawk needs to be taken down for it, which rightfully he does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, A-Train has also done.
Yeah,
he's also murdered
which we
people.
saw when he ran into Huey,
Yeah.
and that was a lovely scene
That started the show.
he kind of he apologized, and Huey was just kind
Genuinely.
of like
He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And the only thing he could do with all that rage bottled up was punch him in the face.
and he's like, "How did you do that?"
Yeah, because it's like, how is Huey now that strong?
Yeah.
Of course, the drugs. But I just loved the payoff of like A-Train realizing what he's done wrong
Yeah.
and understanding that that's not okay, but then also understanding that Blue Hawk's a racist piece of shit.
Yeah. And then
And-
just fucking killing him in a very satisfying and fucked way.
I forgot how good that this show does the speed. Like,
It does it really well.
it does it really well, and man, you feel like Blue Hawk just got fucking obliterated. Like the second he sprints off.
Yeah. And he's holding him down like that. You kind of like make it up in your head, like, wait, what would happen? And then you see it happening.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck.
It'd be like, you're gone.
Yeah, you're dead. Like, he's just taking your fucking life. It's a breath.
Yeah.
Like, you're gone. And, like, then he stops. And
how-
his body is literally, like, it's pulp.
Yeah.
And, and then he has a heart attack.
Now, is this the end? I mean, it's definitely the end. It's definitely a conclusion to A-Train's story. But is this the end of A-Train himself?
I'm not sure. I definitely think they can just bring him back. Like, I'm sure. Like, surely they can just give him some Compound V plus, and he's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those. Yeah,
Because he just had a heart attack.
The issue is that while this is like a payoff for a story, the death itself felt anticlimactic. So
it was like,
like him killing Blue Hawk was very climactic, but it's just his death.
Yeah, when it happened, we were all like, what the fuck? Just had a heart attack?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's a superhero. But I mean, it did make sense because he was like, he couldn't,
He couldn't run.
he couldn't run.
Doctor's orders, and that's what happens when you don't follow doctor's orders.
You fucking die. Which I did like, again, in the world of superheroes, is that, you're not meant to have superhero powers, so yeah, you're obviously going to like die soon or whatever the fuck, but yeah.
Great commentary there. I know what you're trying to say. I just feel like
I'm kind of like, my brain's running out of juice. Sorry, viewers. But yeah, okay. Was that? I think that's the last side story.
Yeah. Oh, and well, just as well, we may as well finish off with the Deep and like.
Yeah, true.
And his
little
sucking up to Homelander.
Yeah.
Like that's his whole journey of the season is about like him like being like, oh, I'm back on the 7, and he's got his weird cult wife. And it's like, you can do this, and it's like, I don't need your help.
I love that weird cult. Like, just it's so good how she's just purely running him. Like he's that fucking like,
and he's clearly not sexually satisfied by her.
Yeah,
because firstly, earlier in the same season, we see him fuck her, but while looking at
an octopus. Yeah,
and now we see him fuck an octopus in this episode.
So yeah,
which was a good ending for his arc as well.
Yeah,
he finally got to fuck that octopus.
Yeah, he did. Well, a bigger one, I guess, because he ate the original one.
Oh,
remember
yeah,
that was again. What a scene! What a fucking scene! So good. Oh
my god!
I love that though. Like it's so just with his character's just so well done. Like
it's because it's just like Jason Momoa has done a great job of making Aquaman cool, but he's an inherently uncool character.
He is like,
and the Deep just really goes ham with how uncool he actually is, and
because he's so like funny. He
anytime like my favorite part of the show is when he's driving with the dolphin in the van.
Yeah, and it goes through this fucking.
It's so sad, but it's like sad in both
hilarious because he's just so dumb. He's so like. Like it's a great, well, when you first like meet him and the whole sexually
sexual
assault, like it's amazing how he reacts to that. He's like, wait, what? Like, you, I thought you told me you're my biggest, like, it's hilarious that, like, that he would think, that that's what she wanted, and, just, like, well, it's a perfect encapsulation of, like, who superheroes, think they are.
There's a pretty funny joke in this episode where when the Deep opens the door to TNT, and TNT's, the male T, one of the is like, you can't even compliment a woman these days.
Yeah, and he's like, I know, right?
It's like, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that this show nails every single fucking week, is it nails the political commentary on, like, what's happening in the America, really, right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, like, I don't know a show that balances being disgusting, funny, genuinely, like, dramatic, as well as a satire and political commentary.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's got everything.
It's one of the, like, that's what I mean. It's one of the best shows ever fucking made.
Yeah.
Like, just to do all of that and also be like, I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's about superheroes as well. Like, what the fuck? What kind, like, no show has ever done that. And and just it's just the amount of shit you see, like, on it. I feel like we were talking about it at work, and one of my coworkers said, "Oh yeah, I watched that," and I was like, "Well, I feel like I feel like I meed more people that try to watch it and, like,
then
this is fucked."
then can't get.
And she was like, "Yeah, I can't wait for the next episode." I'm like, "Wow, fuck!" Like, I'd be scared to show this, this TV show to my girlfriend, but I do want to. But it's also like,
it's a tough one. It's a show that,
and it's called The Boys as well. It's perfect for the boys,
also,
by the boys.
Kamiko's one of the boys.
I know, but that's what I mean, like, because you know how you go to your girlfriend and be like, I'm just hanging with the boys.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got to go watch the boys. Like, it's strictly... No, and I say that, like, strictly, it's obviously not, but,
Yeah, no.
It's perfect. It's
like
perfect.
The most recommendable show and least recommendable show.
100%. I recommend it to everyone I meet. Every single person.
Someone will watch it and be like, oh, it's not for me. It's a bit, it's a bit gory and that.
It's a bit like,
fair.
A couple episodes in, I
mean, in the first episode, you watch a girl just explode, like...
yeah.
You see someone run through someone. Like, that's an opening to a show.
That's what I mean. Like, I always try and know the person before I kind of pitch the movie. Be like, oh, you like DC? Well, like, this has all the DC superpowers, but if, like, it was in real world. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, the Flash is in the real world. I'm like,
well, no.
Well, yes and no. Like, what if he ran through someone? He would do that because he's going that fucking quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole premise is like, our sports stars, politicians, rock stars, actors, right, today, they're all dog shit people behind the scenes. It's just we don't see that. So it's like pulling the curtain back, using superheroes as the way of telling, what happens behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So... and it's great. It's fucking great. Now, we might as well end with just like, where do we think...
Yes, we did want to talk about this, yeah. So, especially with, because we got two episodes left, and especially we know that, like, specifically with Homelander's character, like, he's going down this season. In the next two episodes... he is going to either, we think, lose his powers, like Kamiko did, or die, I guess.
Something has to happen this season because we've seen Homelander spiral completely out of control. He's now at the point where, like, he's running the company.
Yeah.
Right? And to him, that's everything. And
So he's reached, and then he's also going insane as well.
Yeah. And he's just purely... I mean, like, we see Homelander talk to himself in the mirror, right? And he tells himself that we need to cut out the part of you that's still human.
Yeah.
And that's when we see, like, Omni-Man and Invincible, right? Like, that's kind of character. No humanity at all. What if Superman came down and had no humanity? It's like the Injustice storyline in DC Comics. The whole, like, taking Superman and just saying, nah, you're not human at all. You're just, like, this force of whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
Right? And so I don't think the boys can get Homelander to that point, because once it does, then like you almost no longer have a show, because it's like you destroy the world, you destroy everything.
Exactly.
And the whole point is that Homelander doesn't cross that path, because at the end of the day, he wants to be loved, and that is his fundamental flaw. That's his kryptonite, essentially. And that's what prevents him from going over the edge. Now, this is, of course, stripping that away, but it means that it's coming to a head, and something's got to give. And likely it's going to be either the death of Homelander or removing his powers.
Yeah.
Now, I think removing his powers is more interesting, because if you remove his powers, he can't do anything, but he still has the desire to be loved.
Yeah.
And he still has the influence.
So I'd just love to see that.
So what if he ran for president?
Yeah.
He has the following, right? So you could have a story arc where he finds that his group of people, his white supremacist followers, that's where he finds his love. And then he uses that to get more power in a different way. Why don't you do something like that?
That'd be very
without
interesting.
Powers.
Yeah, because I definitely think they realize Anthony Starr, he's just golden for
you need to keep him on the show.
Yeah, you do. Show. It's like Carl Urban. They're both the flagship.
Yeah.
You just need them both.
So that's why I feel like Homelander has to die at some point, but I just don't think
he actually has to die.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're doing. Why would Kimiko lose her powers, through Soldier Boy? I definitely think
it's hinting.
They obviously they've given Soldier Boy this power, to take away other people's powers, which is a great power, and it's very
great plot device.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
and it's just a shame he couldn't do it in this episode. He couldn't get it up in time.
Yeah, that's true. It was literally about to happen. And then it's like, oh man, not today.
You know what? I want to mention, in that final fight. Huey's whole power of teleportation is largely a joke, because he's always naked.
Yeah.
But in that final fight, they make a way of it looking cool.
Well, yeah, that he's in a fucking. He's in a, what is it called? He's in a, what are they called? There's a lot of people.
Party?
Orgy. He's in an orgy. So it was hilarious that I thought, when he first teleports in, he's naked, and he's like, oh, this is chill because everyone else is naked.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. But yeah, no, it was actually good.
Yeah, but when he's fighting Homelander, he feels cool even though he's butt naked.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things. It was is it going to get tiring to always see Huey naked every time he teleports? And it's it was kind of getting to that point, and it's we have 2 more episodes, and every time he's going to teleport, he's going to be naked. It's going to get played out. So I liked that in that final fight scene. It just they handled it in a way that made it look cool, and it was no longer a joke.
Yeah.
And I hope that going forward, it's every time he does it, it's no longer a joke.
But yeah, let's talk about them and obviously they'll either get sick and die from this weird compound V.
Look, of course, taking the compound V is not good. In the Boys comics, it's funny, the Boys comics starts with them taking the compound V.
Really?
So this show built up to it over the course of 3 seasons, whereas in the comics, it's straight away just we're leveling the playing field. So it's interesting. The difference in the show.
I see. Well, yeah, because in season 1, they find compound V and they unmask that superheroes are made, not born. So yeah, I see.
So of course, it's not going to be good for them taking these drugs, but if in a show, we know there's going to be a season 4, right? It's all about escalating each season. So then, what is the escalation if they're taking this drug? I would imagine there'd be some sort of long-term side effects that, a combination of a blessing and a curse. That's why I feel like they'd have to take it, where it's you tell the superhero origin story, where it's my powers are, allow me to, do good, but at the same time,
I can't hug my loved ones because I'll kill them.
So I think there will be something like that where there's some huge consequence for doing this.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But at the same time, it there's a benefit in that they've permanently leveled the playing field in some way, or something like that. I feel like now that they have powers, they're not going to take them away in season 4. You know what I mean? It's got to be bigger. It's going to be something else. So I feel like they've got the powers. Their powers may change and evolve, but there'll be just more consequences, and something big will happen.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. That's probably what
I think. Do you think Annie and Huey stay together by the end of the season or break up? Place bets.
Place bets. That is such a good question. I reckon by this time, I think they're gonna break up.
I think they're gonna break up too.
Yeah, I reckon. I think they like Huey obviously just is uninterested anymore. Like he wants what he wants. You know,
he wants to be a superhero.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny because the whole premise is like of the show.
He hates
is that like superpowers, like by having them be out there, it is like just ultimate power and ultimate corruption at the same time. And we see Huey is getting corrupted by the power of it, power fantasy, and that's the whole point. Is that's why these powers can't exist. That's the whole thing that the boys are trying to do is remove all supes. So yeah, it's really interesting what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
It's very good.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we?
Not real. I mean, I think we covered it all. Honestly,
yeah, we did a good job talking about Obi-Wan and the boys today.
Yeah.
So if you thought we did a good job, please consider following us on on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, liking and all of that fun stuff, commenting, doing everything you possibly want to and can do. Link is in the description for everything. Next week.
Yeah, what are we doing next week?
I don't know. See, the issue is that Thor comes out in 2 weeks, I believe.
Oh,
so
fuck,
there's nothing really. That's good, but there's nothing really that new coming out before Thor, because of course, why would you do that? So one thing we could do is, I mean, we talked about Chris Pratt and his Amazon Prime movies.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Is to fucking
a new one came
find out. Yeah, I saw some ads for that, and I'm like, he's just the same man. He's the same guy in all
Amazon Prime. Why is Chris Pratt making these weird Amazon Prime movies where he plays the same guy? And
it's almost like it's like fucking what's his name?
Adam Sandler on Netflix.
Well, at least I just watched Hustle, and that was quite good. But at least they're good movies, which I've heard on Amazon Prime. These movies are atrocious. And it's all, I was going to say, who's the guy that was from Die Hard?
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis has been doing a bit of that as well.
Oh, he's phoning everything in these days, yeah.
Yeah, just making...
I suppose when you're that rich, you just don't care anymore.
Well, yeah, but I think he's doing it for a good cause. He just wants money for his family.
Yeah, true.
Because he's kind of...
It's just a job.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll figure something out at the very least. So do catch us next week. We've done a fucking banger of a job doing these weekly, I must say.
Oh yeah,
we've nailed it recently.
We're I'm at the fucking tipping point. No, I'm glad. I'm glad we're doing these weekly. And if you're enjoying these weekly, let us know if you want them monthly or daily. Fuck off.
Daily. Yeah, if you want a daily podcast.
Fuck off.
There's new content coming out every day. We'll find something.
Yeah, or we could just do... I don't know what we'd fucking do if we had to do a daily pod. It'd probably be good.
Oh, it'd be the death.
The quality would go down, but the quantity obviously would go up.
Oh, my God. And we know with TikTok and that, it's all about quantity.
Yeah.
Quality is irrelevant.
Which is why I fucking hate TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we'll see you next week.
Bye, Lockie.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
Nice doing business with you.